Good morning. Welcome to Colored Roses and Thorns, and welcome. Thank you so much. Don't forget, hit that like button, subscribe so that others can also benefit from any information that Colored Roses and Thorns may relate. I want to talk about a subject called gang stalking or group stalking. I came across that term. You might hear the yard man outside. He's very, very close to the door, it seems. He's mowing the lawn and cutting down the weeds. Wow. That relates a lot to what needs to be done to people that stalk, but I'm more curious about this community group or gang stalking. Usually it starts with one person who's stalking either a person or a group of person, but then that one person goes about recruiting others to join in with the stalking or the harassment. It happens more than you know. There are stalkers or group stalking or gang stalking that come together to block an individual or another group of people from even getting employment, their livelihood, trying to destroy their livelihood, trying to destroy their means of making money. And it's a sickness. I'm going to read to you the gang stalking or group stalking is a set of persecutory beliefs in which those affected believe they are being followed, stalked, and harassed by a large group of people. It also says stalking generally involves a single stalker who may occasionally recruit others into stalking by proximity. Let me get the rest of it and see what it says. But all in all, it starts out usually as one person who has either a sick agenda or a narcissistic type personality or some other purpose for stalking. There's never a good reason for anybody to stalk, but this particular stalker is so obsessed with this person or group of people that they start to recruit others. They will use sex. Like if there is a male stalker, he will sleep with various women and use his ability to reach them through sex and pretend relationships to recruit them to stalk another person that he may be obsessed with if he's not getting the results that he wants through his stalking. It's sick, isn't it? And the thing is, the people will commit sexual acts with various people, make those people or individual people in that group, make them believe that the stalker wants these people to feel loyal to them or make them feel as though they're in a relationship with him or her. And then they will talk bad about the person who's actually the object of their obsession. Well, this person did this and this and that and that. Um, and um, and he will keep feeding them negative until they say, oh my gosh, that's just horrible. And the next thing you know, these people that this person has gotten involved with come together. They may not even know the other people in the group, but now all of them like, oh, that's a bad person. I'm going to start doing things to them too, And the next thing you know, each of these people are doing horrible things to the person who's the object of the first stalker's obsession. It's called gang stalking. I've actually been in a situation like that recently where a person used romantic tactics to get people involved at either stalking or harassing me because for some sick reason or another, they are obsessed with controlling, uh, jealous of any endeavors. They really want to just render you immobile because of something in them. Because most of the time they don't have the drive, they don't have um, this insight that they're able to accomplish things. They may even lack self esteem. And every time they look at the person of their obsession, it reminds them of what they lack. So recently, there was a situation whereas I'm very qualified for certain positions. I mean, there is no shadow of a doubt my qualifications because I've worked in some of these positions for many, many years and I have very precise skills. And I could not understand that two places that I had gone to apply would not call me back. This is what happened. I actually talked to the person over the phone. She asked me what my name was. She asked me, she said, well, I'm going to text you the location in which to come to complete the application and the interview. After she got my name, I waited for a text. It would have only been a second. So instead, I looked up the address on Google. I realized that it was a company that started in this particular little city in which the person that I'd been dating for quite a while lived. And we'll just speed it up. I never received a text from this particular woman with the address on it to come in and do the application and to do the interview. So I waited a week and I called her. And your numbers show on a caller ID for particular places. She would never answer my call. I would leave precise messages. She would never return my calls. So a year ahead, I put this little app, this little device on my phone that can tell you who's repeatedly looking at your social media pages. And lo and behold, there was this lady that was actually the owner of this place in which I had applied for. And I say, you know what, I'm getting this vibe. Y'all know my intuition be on point and it be so strong. I say, you know what, let me put such and such name in here and see if they're associated or connected. Lo and behold, there he was on her friends list. And the thing is, he lived in the same place in which her company first started. And she had been repeatedly watching my page. Another things that happened, individual stalking, recruiting people to gain stock. They will recruit people in higher positions of authority of hiring or people that can control things in your life. There was this one particular lady on not another one in another organization by the federal government. And the thing is, this particular person was sleeping with each one to recruit them and drop something in their ear so that they can join in with the gang stalking and harassment. And some of those things that were dropped in their ear were absolutely not true. And this particular person that worked at the government office kept my folder, a very important folder that should have been processed and sent through. She kept a folder with pertinent information about me that needed to be processed and sent forward. She kept it on her desk for more than 2 years unmoved. I finally decided to call a supervisor. And how I found out that it was on her desk is because I went back and I did a reapplication again, a very important one. And the supervisor found that this woman had my folder on her desk and it had been sitting there for 2 years. It was blocking access for health services that I needed. Very important therapy that I needed. But she had it sitting on her desk, and then I started doing my little research again, and lo and behold, who was on her page but that same person? So a lot of things that had been going on that time, even here on YouTube. People, you know how they push that little report thing, or they can report things, just reporting false things. And it's a group of people, not talking about the regular people that are on a panel or something like that. But this was a group of people that regularly watch my YouTube channel, knew of my involvement with this person, and he connected somehow to all of them. I say, somehow I was able to pull up a list. I was dabbling around with some app or something, and it comes up with a list, and it has a list of these people who's connected to this person in this particular area. I say, you know what? I ought to take this list to the officials, to enforcement, but I won't. Not right now, anyway. I probably won't, and I knew a lot of them on that list. And it saddens me, it really saddens me that some of them claim to be Christian. I say, Lord, if Christians do this, I would never want to be one. And I'm not speaking for all Christians, but those people doing just despicable things to others, but call themselves Christians, but then I look at the history of Christianity. It's based on control. It has from as far back as I can do research. And I had to study the New Testament and all that stuff before I was graduated at this particular college, university. It saddens me that a person would have so much self-hatred or so many control issues and so many obsessions that they will recruit people by dropping negative and false information in these people's ears to form a gang in harassment or stalking. The last time I checked, that was a crime. And today, I just want to say, if you are watching and part of that group who's been sending in false reports, doing underhanded things, misusing your authority in your positions to block people from their livelihood, from getting any kind of health care that they deserve to have. I could get nasty. I could go back and sue for the money that I should have made, but was blocked because of a person's affiliation or romantic involvement with another person. Now, I could blow it all out of the water, but I'm going to start with prayer. I'm going to start with forgiveness, but just because I forgive, it does not mean that I shall forget. Because as long as I remember, I can always turn around and wreak havoc on your lives. But I believe in Allah. I believe in a higher God. Obviously, those involved believe in a higher God, but I'm starting to wonder which God you're really worshiping. Because the God that I know does not condone the behavior that I have seen and experienced. You call yourself Christians, and I have nothing against those who call themselves Christians, except those who call themselves Christians but represented in a low-vibing, animalistic way. When I say that Satan has taken over Christianity, I mean just that. It has not affected a lot of people, but it affected a sector of people who misuse their authority, their position, their religion to try to destroy other people. But I promise you, you do not know who I am. You will never know who I am unless I let you know. My mom, she said, "You're not the way you used to be." I said, "What do you mean, Mom?" She said, "One time you would have knocked a HE double hockey sticks out of somebody and dragged them under and drowned them." Yeah, prayer changes a lot. Life circumstances changes a lot. But one thing it didn't change was my ability to love myself enough that I would not try to ruin or block someone else's advancement or progress. It takes a very low vibing person and persons to do that. You notice they have to be in a gang of people to come up against one, because you know that the Most High Allah lives in me. You cannot stand that light. You cannot stand the strength that I show and that Allah gives to me. It took 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 people that I know of to come against one of me. What does that say about you? Not much, except your weakness. You're weak. And it said, those people that really represent your religion of Christianity, I would be ashamed of this group. I would be ashamed for people like that to even associate themselves with me. Because I don't think that's what your religion is supposed to be representing. I don't think you're even supposed to represent yourself as being a Christian when you're not doing Christian things, or you're doing unchristian things to other people. That's just pure demonic in nature. And if you're praying, I don't know which God you're praying to, because it's definitely not the Most High God. You're praying to a demon, to Satan, the devil, whatever you want to call it, that spirit. Because by the actions that you're taking, you telling me that you are worshiping Satan. For you to come and try to destroy somebody else's livelihood makes you a sick person, a mentally sick person. And if it's not a religious thing, you need to seek psychological help and figure out why your self-esteem is so low that you got to come after a person and try to ruin their livelihoods. You need to find out why you don't love yourself enough that you have to come up against one person. 20-some people coming up against one. Honey, that's weak or psychologically off. Get counseling. Get an exorcist. Because something is very, very off. And I'm going to tell you right now, because I've already seen it. Those who have their own little business on the sides, I don't wish it, but I see it. It's going to fail. Because what goes around comes around. And whatever you tried to block me or some other person from, that's the same thing that's going to be blocked from you. Be blessed, my sisters, my brothers. And I hesitate to even call you that. Have a good day.